talking to us from New York. We're here in Sweden. As you know, we broadcast in over 750 public radio and television stations throughout North America. We're broadcasting in Spanish, our headlines on hundreds of radio stations. And we broadcast right here in Sweden on several radio and television stations. One of them is right here in Stockholm. It's called an open channel, and it's channel 15 every morning at 8 o'clock. Yes, independent media is also international, is global. We're going to turn right now for the final segment of today's show in Stockholm to Faisal Khan. He is a reporter here in Sweden. He is originally from Afghanistan. He applied for political refugee status, and political refugees in Sweden, in fact, they've taken in more refugees per capita than most places in the world. There is a place in Sweden, a city, that has taken in thousands of Iraqi refugees called Södertälje. Is that right, Faisal Khan?
Exactly. Södertälje is the Mecca of the Iraqis now.
In fact, the mayor of Södertälje went to Washington, to Congress, to testify. Sweden has taken in, with a small population, thousands upon thousands more Iraqi refugees than the United States has.
Yep, exactly. I remember that, and that's true. Sweden is a very, very popular destination for Iraqi refugees here.
Why?
Well, for a lot of different reasons. Number one, that the Iraqis have been here in Sweden since 1984, and if we look into the statistics, since 1984, around almost 100,000 Iraqis they have applied for asylum, and after the collapse of the Saddam regime, it increased dramatically, and of course, Iraqis and all the other people coming from the Asian countries, they would rather go to places that they already have a network, a social network, and they have built a strong social network here in Stockholm, in the town of Södertälje, and that's why they're coming here. And also, we shouldn't forget the fact that Sweden had been very generous in granting political asylum to refugees, which they are now thinking over.
When did you apply for political asylum yourself?
It was around the first months of, it was, I think, April 2004. So,
in the midst of the U.S. war in Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly.
You said the policy's changing, though, now.
Yeah, the policy right now, the Swedish parliament, they voted for a new legislation which enables people from countries other than the EU to apply
the European Union.
Yeah, the European Union to apply for work permits, and that gives a signal to me that the Swedish government they are trying to make this immigration process a little bit easier for themselves. Of course, when people are coming from the war zones, they don't have, most of them, they don't have the ability to make a living for themselves, learn the language, and integrate into the society as everybody wishes. But now, with the change of policy, that we would rather have people who would come to Sweden and start working, I guess that would make the life of the Swedish government quite a lot easier. They would be supporting themselves. They would have to learn the language by themselves. And basically, the Swedish government wouldn't have to pamper them.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Faisal Khan, for joining us. I'm sorry we don't have more time. Faisal Khan writes for the local.se, Sweden's news in English. It is online. That does it for today's broadcast. And for our broadcasts from Stockholm, Sweden, we head to Hamburg, where we broadcast on Thursday and Friday. From Berlin on Friday night, I'll be speaking at Humboldt University at 6:30. You can go to our website, democracynow.org. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Burke, Angelique Comet, Aaron Mate, Sharif Abdel-Kadous, Nicole Salazar, Steve Martinez, Hani Massoud, Robbie Karen. I want to say special thanks to Dennis Moynihan and to my mom, Dari Goodman, who accompanied me on this trip. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.